And here comes the Ali people out of the dressing room, and all of the questions will be answered. This is an awesome power of George Foreman against the varied boxing skills of Muhammad Ali. Here comes Ali. You can see him there, very calm. If you saw the interview, there's no question on my mind, and I don't think anybody else's mind here at ringside, about the tremendous confidence of this tremendous athlete. It's age again.
Great feeling, because it's like once in a lifetime you can do something that's great that maybe no one else can ever do again.
One thing that's very important as we take a look across the ring at Muhammad Ali bouncing around is Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, a physician, a man that certainly has the ability to help the aging former champion Muhammad Ali should he get in trouble. And of course his handler, a man that's been with him all the way, Angelo Dundee. I have to give the corner strength to the Muhammad Ali group based on the just sheer fact that George Foreman was cut. There's a possibility that he could be cut against. Ali has lashing, cutting type punches. He's got tremendous speed in his hands, still has good speed of foot. Just how much speed in this humidity, we just don't know. Angelo Dundee looking around, and again I talk about that corner being important. Angelo spent this afternoon over here making sure the ropes were tight, making sure that there was enough rosin on the canvas here. And now we understand that George Foreman is about to make his way to the ring as Ali continues to dance and build up a little bit of a sweat and get ready for this big fight.
And right at the ringside there, I see right at the ringside, standing, watching everything fascinatedly over there, Joe Frazier, the former world champion, right there at the ringside like any other fan in this vast auditorium.
He says he wants the winner too.
I think he's more than a fan in this case, David. I think that he definitely has his sights set on maybe a $5 million purse for Joe Frazier should he get the opportunity to meet the world heavyweight champion again.
A very understandable human ambition. We hope to be talking to Joe a little later on about the way he thinks the fight's going, if he can get over to our commentary position over on this side of the ring.
While we have the opportunity, we can give you an idea of the instructions that the fighters will be receiving. First off, this is a 19-foot ring. Muhammad Ali, of course, wanted the larger ring for his dancing, wanted a 20-foot ring, but the Everlast company had to come through and create this new 19-foot ring. The Foreman camp wanted an 18-foot ring, understandably, so they could cut off Ali in the corners. The scoring of this fight will be the 10-point must system. The 3 knockdown rule is waived. The count will continue after the bell in every round, with the exception, of course, of the 15th round, which ends the fight. They're using 8-ounce championship gloves. As we mentioned, both fighters will be gloved in the ring. They had their hands taped in their respective locker rooms, and the taping was watched by boxing officials from the African Boxing Union and from the World Boxing Council, and a member of the opposing corner. You hear a tremendous roar. We don't see him yet, but we can only assume that George Foreman is on his way out here. We still don't see any indication of George Foreman.
Is there any protocol on this sort of thing?
Bob, those cheers of Ali and his movements in the ring, he's putting on a show and the people love it.
Is there any protocol about this sort of thing? How long can a champion keep a challenger waiting? Is it gamesmanship? Is he trying to tire him before the fight starts? How long could a champion keep him waiting?
I don't know what the exact rule is on that, or if in fact there is, but you would think that somebody who is in the locker room with the World Boxing Council will have him out here. This does play a very definite psychological effect. Football coaches, Jim Brown, sometimes would like to keep their football team in, so the other team that comes out really keyed up can kind of cool down a little bit before the ball game starts. Could be the same thing tonight.
Of course, because you keep looking over your shoulder. You don't know how long it's going to be, and it puts extra pressure on you.
We mentioned that this fight is under the sanction of the World Boxing Council and the African Boxing Union. The officials, the judges will be Adala from Turkey and James Taylor from the United States. We have no last name for Adala. We'll just assume he's Adala. And the referee will be Zach Clayton. And Zach Clayton is actually a veteran of the ring. Zach Clayton refereed the second Walcott-Lewis fight, as some of you may recall, in Yankee Stadium. He's been kind of inactive as far as refereeing goes in recent years. He is a former Harlem Globetrotter, proving beyond any reasonable shadow of a doubt he's a fine athlete. He's also the chairman of the Pennsylvania State Boxing Commission. There's Joe Frazier, looking intent. Muhammad Ali continues to dance around. getting himself warmed up a little bit. I bet you that Ali does not like this waiting, nor does Angelo Dundee. That's Drew Bundini Brown, who is the character of sorts from the Ali camp.
Bob, I think George has been doing a lot of this in the last couple of weeks. You know, he's been really trying to psych Ali out, and I think tonight he's overdoing it a little bit. Assuming that he's really trying to psych him out.
Well, I don't understand.
It's a really interesting point, this, which way it will work, actually, isn't it? Because there will become a point where Muhammad Ali may get worried, and then there will become another point where he may get furious. We may see a more angry Muhammad Ali than we've ever seen before. You never know how these ploys work.
There's the famous feat. $5 million on the hoof, we'll call it, for tonight.
Or maybe George Foreman is just not coming.
Or maybe that's a thought that I didn't think of.
You know, a very good point, though. In the last week, I think most of the writers have changed their mind about Foreman being the overwhelming favorite.
I think they have.
Did you catch that glance there and the intenseness of the eye of Muhammad Ali as he looked towards the outside, looking for George Foreman? Shadow boxing around for 60 seconds to 2 minutes to 3 minutes does no good for a man 32 years old when he's fighting a man that is a few years younger.
Foreman's jerking
No,
us
Bob,
off.
that's
as
not
usual,
true.
Right?
It only loosens up the muscles.
Yes, there's no danger of a pulled muscle now. But we are starting to reach the point where George Foreman is
Foreman's not jerking us off.
Ali, you can
overstaying his non-welcome.
David, excuse me, Ali, you can see has a tremendous sweat already built up, which is another indication of the humidity that we've talked about, and we'll keep mentioning that. Now here comes the heavyweight champion of the Foreman, the heavyweight champion of the world. He looks around and is talking to Archie Moore, a pretty country fair fighter in his own day.
And yes, the shouts for Ali, at least in this part of the auditorium, are dwarfing any others.
Trying to figure out exactly what the possible delay could be here now. They've had about all the delays they could possibly have tonight, and we should have the announcements very quickly. This is Chimpupu, who is the chef de presse here in Zaire, in Kinshasa. Now the ring announcements are officially going on. They're having trouble with the audio system here in the arena, so the people actually in attendance can't hear any ring announcements, and this is the delay at this particular time. This is, of course, the national anthem. Muhammad Ali dancing around. This will be the national anthem of the country of Zaire. this evening in Zaire. There was a lot of talk about the possibility of rain. I don't think the weather could be any more beautiful than it is tonight. There's a full moon out. And Ali is getting the people to chant, Ali Bomaye. That means Ali kill him. There's the sight at ringside. 60 to 70,000 in attendance here in this 20th of May stadium. Let's talk about the fighter, George Foreman, for just a moment. George Foreman, of course, has a tremendous record of 40 wins, no losses, 37 knockouts. This product, born in Marshall, Texas, and now living in Hayward, California, aged 24 years old, 6'3", and weighs 220. The big story as far as the tail of the tape is concerned is that Ali has an 1.5 inch reach on George Foreman. This could play a little bit of a difference in the fight. George Foreman has the tremendous record. As we take a look at his last few fights, it's almost unbelievable that he hasn't fought a full 15 rounds in total since 1972. And as we look at his past 8 fights, everything has gone not beyond the second round. He knocked out Murray Goodwin in Austin in the second round, Clarence Boone in Beaumont, Texas in the second round, Ted Gullick in the second round. He knocked him out in Los Angeles. Miguel Paz was knocked out in Oakland, California as Ali looks on. And he knocked out Terry Souls in Salt Lake City also in the second round, all in 1972. In 1972, well, that was a big year for Foreman, winning all of his fights. 73, even a bigger year. His first fight, January 22nd of 1973, he beat Joe Frazier down in Kingston, Jamaica, and won the World Heavyweight Championship fight in that dramatic second-round knockout. And then he defended his championship for the first time on August 31st against Jose King Roman in Tokyo, Japan, and retained the World Heavyweight Championship. Then, of course, was the fight, the last fight by video techniques in 1974. This year, down in Caracas, Venezuela, in March 26th to be exact, the second-round knockout over Kenny Norton, again retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. As far as Muhammad Ali is concerned, the highlights in his career, as most of you are aware of. He won the championship from Charles Sonny Liston, February 25, 1964, a 7th-round knockout on Miami Beach. He defended his title 9 times before the layoff in 1968 and 1969. We won 7 of those fights by the knockout route. Now, since the layoff, he's had 17 fights. This is Muhammad Ali, the man we're talking about. Ali, 17 fights since the layoff, 15-2, 8 knockouts.
A great scene going on the stage there now. On the world stage, in fact, at this very moment in time. I don't think we can catch it with our microphones, but it certainly doesn't seem that Muhammad Ali was demoralized by that delay.
No, it doesn't. George Foreman, of course, the much more serious fighter. Ali will attempt to bewilder and frustrate the man, not only by chatter, but by his movements in the ring, Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely. He was winking and making fun of Foreman.
And between 1 and 15, you're taking any range. Could it actually go the full distance?
Well, I would say yeah, then I'd say no. You know, I really don't know what to say because I haven't visited the camp so far. I just seen news media and different things, what the guys be doing, but I don't really know what's going on.
But Joe, one question.
Yes,
Do you really think that Ali has a chance? Now, you know.
The way I feel about Jimmy, don't mind going, Jimmy.
Not at all.
The guys is 2-man out there, and
You fought
everybody
both
on
of
their own.
them.
That's right, and I think the guy got a good chance. I mean, he got 2 hands. He's been working for 2 months altogether, so therefore he should know what he has to do.
You respect his skills.
Oh, I respect all guys with 2
Beautiful.
hands, believe
Beautiful.
me.
We should have a good fight then.
And in fact, at the moment, does he look fitter to you than he was in his last fight with you, or less fit, Muhammad?
I would say I think he's about maybe 2 or 3 pounds lighter.
2 or 3 pounds lighter.
I would say he's about 2 or 3 pounds lighter. They said about 216. I'll give him about maybe 213, 214 pounds. Maybe 13.
Joe, one question to ask you. Both of these fellows are capable of dishing out tremendous punishment. One does it with 1 punch, the other does it over a period of rounds. How can you just make a comment on that for our worldwide audience?
Well, I wouldn't say that, my man over here been able to give it out, dish it out. I think that George is capable of dishing it out. I don't know about taking it, but as a big man, he's a big man. He should be able to take most anything.
Well, that's the view of a man who should know. A man who should know. Joe Frazier, who's going to stay here with us and watch the fight with us. It's getting very close to fight time. Blow-by-blow commentary is going to be by Mr. Bob Sheridan. He'll be taking over in a moment or two to give us the blow-by-blow, and at the end of the first round, we'll come back, Joe, for a comment from you.
Well, I think it should be a real good fight, and somehow you guys just got me here working. How about that? I come to have a vacation and watch the fight. Hey, I'm calling blow-by-blow.
For free.
Watch it, boy.
Well, next time you're going to get $5 million for working this hard.
Yeah, how about that? Good. I don't mind doing it. I enjoy it.
That's a nice thought, isn't it?
Jim around, so therefore it's always nice being in his company and yours.
Begins to mount here. One thing we want to look out for is just how fast this man, George Foreman, will open. As we mentioned, in his past several fights, he hasn't gone in the past 4 years beyond 2 rounds in any fight. Can Ali dance and stay away from him? Is George Foreman's thundering punches going to be too much for him? Is the left hook that is so devastating?
An incredible round. What did you make of that, Joe Frazier?
So good a round as the close. Very close round. Because, hell, what you're doing, you've got people looking at the fight about him doing it. But George is banging that body shot. He's urgent in that body. And otherwise, you shouldn't stay on that rope.
Do you think Ali is making a mistake tactically then every time he does that?
I'm saying that. You need to move. You don't need to stay on that rope.
He did that with you in the first fight with you at Madison Square Garden. He stayed on the rope and you hit him a lot.
He don't move or cut George. George will walk him down. You need to move. You don't need to stay on that rope.
For what reason on the rope?
Jim Brown.
Muhammad Ali is punishing George Foreman even though he is on the rope. He is getting some tremendous blows in, and at some point that can tell on Foreman.
Did it look there? Did it? Let's look at that again. We've got a slow motion coming up. We've got a slow motion coming up again.
Watch this now. Watch this inside. The replay here. Foreman will come across.
Was Foreman hurt there? Joe Frazier.
I would say George is
George Foreman seems to have nothing left at this time. Ali seems to be waiting, as I said earlier, and I think that he knows that he has control.
And now we have reached a point where George Foreman's only had one fight this long since February 1970. Only one fight this long since then. What would you say the position is on points at the moment, Joe Frazier?
I would say right now that my man is in the lead. I got a feeling that George's not going to make it from the looks of it.
Now tell me, the one thing that people obviously all around the world will be cheering for one or the other, but do you think Foreman's got a killer punch? If he lands one punch, can he save it?
Well, I would say, yeah, if it lands on the target, any man can take a punch out, can take you out with one punch.
Dear late, he has done absolutely and exactly. Here comes the replay. The scenes in the ring are incredible. Jim, here it is. The greatest fight of his life. Watch it now. Watch it closely there. He'd been taking it easy, and then suddenly the moment came. A punch of real power. He softened his man up. They said Ali didn't have a killer punch. Well, that was it. But my God, he softened his man up. And over there,
magic of
Bob.
Oh, Muhammad.
Bob Sheridan is trying in the ring to get to Ali. But he's not succeeding at the moment. There you see the pandemonium. One of the greatest fights of all time. There you see those are the Zaire version of hard hats there, trying somehow to protect the two fighters.
Angelo Dundee predicted it. Angelo said he would knock him out.
Angelo came over here and waved to Jim and I. He put his thumb up as if to say, this was exactly what I predicted.
Well, I must make one point. Muhammad Ali had been waving at me, winking at me all night because he knew I thought that George Foreman would knock him out, and he is a friend of mine, so he was saying to me after every round, look at me, big fella, because I'm doing it. Fantastic.
Fantastic performance. There you see the scene in the ring. I can't see much hope of Bob getting a very deep, coherent interview at this moment. I don't think we're going to be able to talk to Muhammad Ali in depth at the moment. But there you see the scene. The whole place is going wild. The people right at the back of the auditorium, they're on their feet too. Or on their feet, is the plural of foot. They're on their feet. their feet? They're on their feet, or their foot. And there you see
There's one thing about this
look at that face. Look at that face. A man who can scarcely believe what has happened to him. Who can scarcely believe what has happened to him. George Foreman, the man who was invincible. George Foreman, the man who was totally invincible. Muhammad Ali is certainly suffering worse punishment in the middle of that ring at the moment. Worse punishment in the middle of that ring than he ever got from George Foreman. And there's George Foreman. Look at that. His head is fallen. He's really, really an injured man. And the man they said that could only float like a butterfly but not sting like a bee has really stung. George Foreman, the beaten champion. What a moment of tragedy this is. He left here. There he goes. No one in the auditorium paying really any attention to him as he goes. As Muhammad Ali knows from that first fight against Joe Frazier, people are only interested in winners. Look at that sad, dejected head. Look at the people around him, 3 or 4 people maybe. Nobody wants to mob a beaten champion. The whole of boxing history has been turned upside down. That lonely figure going into the dressing room was not Muhammad Ali, but George Foreman. Meanwhile, the scenes as you can see them there, the Zaire police and army are trying to protect Muhammad Ali. There he is. There is the picture of the man who has undoubtedly fought his greatest fight tonight, won his greatest victory tonight. Muhammad Ali on his way to his dressing room. There he goes. Hooray! Hooray, they yell. Hooray, they yell.
Amis sportifs.
In fact, there is disappointment. There is enormous disappointment that he's going, actually. There are people yelling for him to stay. Oh, and there are people trying to fight off the press. Look, there the press of people, I should add, in case people think that that is a Nixonian attack on the media. With him, just behind him, you may have seen Bob Foster there, former light heavyweight champion.
Fantastic promotion. Fantastic performance. Muhammad Ali completely fooled a lot of us who thought that George Foreman was invincible. It makes us take a second look at the 2 listing fights. But as I said earlier, he has magic.
Here it is. Let's watch it, Jimmy. As we see Muhammad Ali dispose of the tired George Foreman. Ali unleashes a combination on the very fatigued George Foreman. It's coming up here now. Right hand misses. Watch the left. There's the left. Now a straight right hand. That one spins his head. That's the knockout punch right there. It was a straight right hand taken right on the face of Muhammad Ali. This is the dressing room of Muhammad Ali. David Frost is making his way down there. Ali talking to Louis Soria. Another one of his handlers there. Muhammad Ali hugging Dr. Freddie Pacheco, the physician that said, yes, he will beat him. And Angelo Dundee, the only single man that I know that said he wouldn't knock out George Foreman.
Angelo said he was absolutely sure.
I didn't believe Angelo. As close a friend as Angelo Dundee is to me, Jimmy, I just didn't believe it.
Well, I believe that Angelo believed it because he was absolute about it.
Did you notice Ali look in the mirror in his dressing room to make sure he wasn't marked? What does this do, Jimmy? Does it open up the heavyweight championship again? Will he retire?
It opens it up.
Will he retire? Is he the greatest man that ever fought?
Well, right now he is, Bob, I'll tell you.
Here we go. We've got the dressing room.
Bad giant. That once he cornered you, you're finished. And I keep telling you that he has no power. I kept telling you he don't hit hard. And guess what he did in the end? He stopped fighting dirty.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know his thumb got me in the eye one. Right. In the right eye. But I'm smart. See, I'm a pro. I'm a pro, see. I chased Felton with my arm reach and then grabbed him until I cleared up.
He's a pro, Allah's God, bro. That's the power of Allah.
That's all I couldn't get up. Get him with the right hand, couldn't get up. He ain't never got up.
I kept talking to him during the fight, too.
Mohammed, congratulations.
Am I the greatest of all times?
Mohammed, you told me
In Deer Lake, you were the greatest of all time, and I think
everybody out there watching now will say that you've proved it tonight.
Who was bearing me up, too power, too strong. I proved that Allah is God. Elijah Muhammad is a messenger, and I have faith in them. And regardless of the world and the pressure, I made it an easy night because Allah has power of all things. If you believe in Him, nothing, even George Foreman, will look like a baby. It wasn't a close fight, was it?
No, it wasn't a close fight.
No. Was it close before I knocked him out? No. You suckers. Wait. Is this on close? You tell. Is it live?
Right now.
Everybody stop talking now. Attention. I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Sonny Liston. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. He was falling. He was missing. I don't know if I'm going to fight again or not. I'm going to retire as of now. I have to talk to my leader, the most honorable.
Are you still planning to retire?
Assalamu alaikum to all the Muslims. Thanks to Almighty God Allah. I want all of you fans out there who believe in me, read the Muhammad Speaks newspapers, go to your local Muslim temple and learn more about the life-giving power from Allah through Elijah Muhammad that I've got. You saw all the white people, the critics, the world had me ranked to go down. This was their man, and Allah, God was with me, and this man looked like nothing. I want you to remember that. Want to know where I get the power? Visit your local Muslim mosque. Read that Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Take it from me.
That just proves you can have commercials on closed-circuit television just as you can have it on real television. Mohammed, what did you say to George Foreman?
It's not a commercial telling people
to believe
in God.
Tell me, what did you say to George Foreman before the fight? What did you say to him?
I told him he has no power in the corners and in the clinches. I said, shoot your best shot. I'm going back to the ropes. They told me he was strong. Didn't I look stronger than him?
Why didn't tell me, Mohammed? This was the thing that puzzled people. Why was it when you were on the ropes that he could not hurt you, even when you were right there on the ropes?
Blocking, and I was pulling back, and I have a radar built inside me. I know how to judge punches. Didn't I tell all of you out there on your local radio shows, mostly black stations? I told you, I'm going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see. So that's what happened.
That's what you said to me. But tell me now, are you really going to retire, Mohammed?
I'm seriously thinking about retiring. There's nothing else for me to fight. I told her, well, I'm going to retire. I'm going to hold the title for a few months. They took my title unjustly. I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world. All of you bow. All of my critics crawl. All of you suckers who write the Ring magazine, Boxing Illustrated, all of you suckers bow because the stage was set. You made him great. You made him a bad Joe Louis. You made him a hard puncher. But I want everybody from this moment on to recognize me as the scholar of boxing. If you want to know any damn thing about boxing, don't go to no boxing experts in Las Vegas. Don't go to no Jimmy the Greek. Come to Muhammad Ali. I am the man.
One last question, Mohammed.
Hello, my man, Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner out there.
Mohammed, one last question. Tell me, would you say that this, at this moment, is this the happiest moment of your life?
No. Happiest moment of my life when I met Elijah Muhammad, the freedom speaker of black people. But I want to say this. Hello to all my friends in Louisville, Kentucky. Joe Martin, Fred Stoner, all of my friends in Louisville, Kentucky, where I started. I'm recognized all over the world now, but my greatness came and started in Louisville, Kentucky. And that's one of the greatest cities in America, Louisville, Kentucky. And I predict that Louisville, Kentucky will have another world champion because Louisville is the greatest. Louisville